Okay, so welcome to our Power Intention group. Thank you so much for joining me and joining your energy and your power into our intention. I've got some familiar faces. There are some faces I haven't seen in a very long time. Welcome, and also some new faces here. If you haven't met me before, I'm Anne Whitehouse. I'm the author of Pull Back Your Power, and I've also spent the last few decades learning how to and helping people and myself pull back our power and change the way we react to life's events. And that's exactly what we have need of at the moment. So I'm going to start with just explaining a little bit about what I mean by power and then what we're going to do in this session. So there are lots of definitions of power and people understand it in different ways, but the way I think about it, it's really power is your ability to create change. So we have the front of our brain, all our conscious thoughts. We think that that is really in control, but the fact is it's not really. It's the deeper parts of our brain where there's the instinctual reactions. That's what create our feelings of either safety or danger. And what we have is this situation where if the deep parts of our brain, the subconscious and the limbic brain, all of those deeper parts, if they feel that we aren't in control, it immediately feels that we're in danger. That is then going to trigger all of our stress and our anxiety responses, which then is a downward spiral. It's like what I call the downward spiral of doom, because the more we feel those feelings, the more our system panics and the more it triggers all of that stress response. So what I've realized over the years is there's actually a power dynamic between us and the world. And if we change the way we're focusing, we can actually influence that power dynamic. So to give you an example, I'm sure you've all had situations where, say, you've been in a confrontation with somebody, big argument, and afterwards you just feel ghastly and you keep on going over and over and over it in your mind and you can't stop thinking about it and your body reacts to it over and over again. And the incident itself is long gone. But what you're doing is you are giving your power away. You are, by focusing on the incident, you are literally telling your subconscious mind, the incident has the control over me. I can't do anything about it. You're giving that power away, that power balance is tipping away from you. And that then triggers the need to go over it again and again, and you're magnifying all that negative energy. On the other hand, if we can get our focus off the situation, bring it back to us, and focus within ourselves, what happens is we tip that balance the other way. We start to bring the power back, and that literally shrinks. It shrinks the power that the incident has over us. So that's literally what's happening in many ways at the moment. And what's happening is that everybody is focusing on the situation with the virus. Everyone is focusing on the problems or the headlines, the number of deaths, the fact they haven't got the tests and all the rest of it. And every time we put our focus on those aspects, we are literally giving them more and more power over us. And at the same time, the power is literally draining away from our subconscious minds and we feel less and less safe. And this is even more of a problem because the whole situation has literally ripped our power foundation away from us. We've gone through our whole lives believing that we had a certain element of safety and security and stability in our lives, in the way health works, and the fact that if something's wrong, we can go to the doctor, we can go to the hospital, and you will hopefully be okay. That's all been there forever. And then suddenly this has been ripped out from us. It's like no longer there. This is a completely new situation for you, for everybody, nearly everybody who is currently alive. We have not had to live through that. We've been very fortunate compared to the previous generations, but now we do have to live with that. That foundation is gone. Consciously, we can say, I'm going to be strong, I can be on top of this, I'm going to be focused, etc., etc. But The subconscious, or the other parts of our brain, are saying, oh my God, this, I feel completely unsafe. I've lost my power foundation. It's immediately then going to look at all these other messages that we're receiving, and that's going to tip that balance away from us. Our power goes down and down and down. So that's the theory. And that's not much good unless we can do something about it, but we can do something about it, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to take us through 3 different power intentions. So the first one is for us to bring the power back into our physical body. So we're going to bring the power back into our strength, our resilience, our immune systems. So our physical bodies will then begin to feel stronger, more able to deal with this challenge, and that's going to begin to bring stress down. The second one, we're going to bring the power back into our lives. So, the effect that this is having on, on our businesses, on our personal lives, on our careers, on our income, on our economy, all of that stuff which did seem fairly secure, and which of course is now in complete uncertain state. And then finally, when we've got our personal power back, we're going to be bringing power into our health services. So the NHS, if you're here with me in the UK, or whichever country you're joining me from, into your healthcare systems, because they're all feeling, again, that they haven't got the resources they need, they haven't got the numbers, things are going to magnify even more from what they are now. And what we need to do is to bring that power back into those organizations, the individuals, all of the mechanisms that are holding it together, so that that energy is there for those people to then deal with the situation the best way possible. So that's about 3 intentions for today. So I'm not going to talk much more. That is the theory. So I hope you have some idea why we're doing what we're doing and why it works. And when we do this as a group, it's well established that when you do any kind of meditation as a group, it's going to be magnified compared to doing it alone. We're not doing specifically meditation. What we're doing is this power exercise, which is also very much magnified when we do it as a group. So whether you're here with me live or whether you're joining on the recording, you will be contributing to magnifying the intention for everybody, not just the people on the call, not just people in the recording, but everybody in society, everybody in humanity that we're trying to help today. Okay, so I think that's it. I want you to make yourself comfortable. I want you to relax, and we're just going to get into it now. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes and just take some gentle breaths. And begin to become aware of your breathing, your body. You feel your ribcage expanding with each breath. Become aware of your heartbeat. Now allow yourself to become aware of how connected you are, that you really aren't alone, whether you're in self-isolation, whether you're stuck with your family, you're not alone. So feel your connection with the earth. So whether you've got your feet on the floor, whether you've got your feet up on the sofa, doesn't matter. You've still got that connection. Allow that understanding that strength, that nurturing is there. You are connected to it. And then bring your attention into the energy of your heart. And imagine that energy is now expanding. It's expanding and it's making a connection with everyone here on the call today, everyone who's here on the live call, everyone who's listening to the recording later on. Allow yourself to become aware of the presence of all of those other people. So even if you are physically isolated, you are not energetically isolated. Now you can ask for all of your family, your friends, your colleagues, your acquaintances. Ask for them just to join you in energy. Just ask for that connection to be made, because we're all connected through the quantum field anyway. Now let's add into that connection all the other intention groups, meditation groups, healing groups around the world, whether they're doing similar things, different things. We all have this aim of helping everyone move through this challenge. So in your mind's eye, see that connection, that network going all the way around the planet. And it isn't just the sum of the individuals involved. The group energy is very much magnified. So we have all of that working in our favor. Okay. So now we're going to start with our first intention. So whether or not you've been really struggling with anxiety around this, or whether you've been feeling quite strong on the surface, your subconscious mind is going to have been undermined in a big way by this loss of our power foundation, this loss of our stability and security. And that is going to be putting an enormous strain on us physically. And we all know that to be strong, have a strong immune system, we need to bring stress down. So now I want you to imagine all that attention, that focus that your mind has been putting on everything that's happening out in the world. All of those fear-based headlines, the dramatic changes in the way we're living our lives. We're just going to take that focus away and bring it back into our physical bodies. So, good way of imagining this. Good way of imagining this is you can imagine that your body is like a magnet, and you've given away, without realizing it, all of the power. And the power is like iron filings. But now you are turning up the strength of your magnet, your internal magnet. And you're just focusing on that power returning to you. So feel or imagine those iron filings flying back to your body. every bit of news, every change in your circumstances, everything that worried you or upset you, caused you to feel fear or anxiety. Because we have facts and then we have a reaction to those facts, and we can bring our reaction down, and that puts us in a much better position mentally and emotionally. So in your mind's eye, you can imagine that as all that power energy is returning to you, that those issues, they're all shrinking down, just as if you're taking the air out of a balloon. It's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Meanwhile, you're feeling in your body your power, the energy there going up and getting stronger and stronger as we're tipping that balance back in our favor. Feel that power flowing back. And as it comes back, let's give our subconscious minds a message here. Let's bring the message that we are strong, we're resilient, our immune systems are strong, and we know how to recognize and deal with whatever physical issues our bodies have to cope with. So whether or not we get this infection, our bodies are going to remain strong. So really focus on that thought. And the power is flowing back easily and effortlessly. And let's bring in an understanding, a message for our subconscious minds that yes, this is a very different situation, but we can deal with this. We are intelligent. We are adaptable. When our immune systems are confronted with something new, they can adapt, they can work out what to do. Now, really focusing on your physical body. And imagine that power returning, all your internal batteries being replenished. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the second part. So everything that's knocked your security in terms of your life, your career, your finances, your physical security, your relationships, all the adaptations you're having to make, what it's going to mean for the future. Our subconscious minds do not like change. They don't like uncertainty. They like things to remain exactly the same. So we can't keep things the same. And this huge shock for the world is going to absolutely change things forever. But again, we can use this as an opportunity to make things better, to clear old limiting energies, blocks, old structures that no longer serve us and haven't served humanity in a long time, but we've been stuck with them. We can use this like very much a clean slate if we really get into the understanding and embrace the fact that change is going to happen, but that we can be on board with that we can adapt, and we can come out the other side, not just surviving, but absolutely creating something better in our lives. So allow the worries, the stresses, the anxieties that you have around all of this change and uncertainty, allow those to just come up. And it's safe to do that in our group energy because everyone's being held. So we're going to bring in these really important messages for our subconscious minds. But it's absolutely possible and safe to allow things to change, to allow ourselves to create a different picture for our lives. Some of us might have a small change to make, some may have an enormous change to make, but we can adapt. We can adapt, we will adapt, we can get through this. So now imagine all the power you've given away to those fears, all the beliefs that your mind told you that you had to keep everything the same, you have to stop things from changing. That's just going to make you very stressed. It's going to undermine you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Instead, let's bring in our power, bring it back from all of those fears and anxieties. So now imagining all those fears like balloons of energy that's taken our power, and we're literally deflating those balloons and bringing the power back to us. So feel or imagine the energy of that power flowing back into your mind. Bring in the understanding that when we focus on the anxieties, on the worst case scenario, we are just making ourselves weaker. We're just undermining ourselves and making things much more difficult to deal with. Instead, let's have that understanding. I'm going to keep my power. I'm going to use my intelligence, my resourcefulness, my adaptability. These are the strengths of being human. We can adapt and we will adapt. So imagine that power flowing into your life. into your finances, into your career, into your business if you have one, into your security. It's a very important understanding I want to bring in here. If we cling to everything staying the same, in this situation, we have no power doing that because it's not possible to do that. If we hold the power but allow things to change, that's going to give us a best case scenario. Hope that makes sense. So if we hold the power and hold that strength and that resilience in our minds, then that gives us what we need to adapt and make the changes we need to make. So now imagine the power we pulled back. Imagine it now forming a power foundation, a real secure foundation underneath us energetically. When I do this, I think of it like a kind of a scaffolding going deep down into the earth, really supporting us. When we have a foundation underneath us, that gives us what we need to create. If we have nothing underneath us, we can't support anything. So we're creating a new power foundation for our future security, our future prosperity. So really hold your focus on creating that. We don't need to know the exact details. What we do need is a foundation of power. Let's just give our subconscious minds the understanding that this is the energy state that really serves us. This is what's going to make us cope better, more than cope, do well as we create the world after this crisis. Just anchoring that in place. Okay, so finally, we're going to empower all of our health services, all the individuals, all the support services, all the materials that are needed, all the resources. At the moment, there's a huge energy of panic and lack around all of this. So we've got our group energy, we've brought back our power. So as a group, we are now holding a great deal of empowerment. So in your mind's eye, imagine the health service in wherever it is that you're living. And I want you to see or imagine or just intend that power is being returned to the whole lot, to every single individual, every medic who's working, every support worker, all the mechanisms that have to be in place, all the logistics. Just see that power flowing back in whatever way works for you. There's no right or wrong way. But you see those resources being replenished, all the materials required for the protective equipment, for doing the testing. To see all that coming into place. Blocks that were there disappearing. See more people getting better, more people not even needing to go to hospital. So really focus on that energy and seeing the power going into that. So that's the energy that we're magnifying. And again, let's create a power foundation for all our health systems and all the people working hard to keep them going. So when I do this kind of thing, again, I like to see that structure of power foundation being created underneath the individuals, the institutions, and all the mechanisms, supporting them from underneath. The energy from the earth can then go up and flow and get rid of any lack. What we want is an energy of plenty. So imagine that, visualize it, or just ask for it in whatever way works best for you. Really hold that intention. And we're not giving our power away to do that. We're holding on to our power, but we're just allowing that power balance to shift away from lack and towards plenty and empowerment in those situations. So now see your healthcare service dealing with the situation, dealing with it easily with all the resources they need. But there's always a bed for anyone who needs it, always a ventilator if someone needs it. And the numbers that need that begin to go down. And they have all the equipment that they need, all the protective equipment. They can get all the testing they need because those resources are there and the logistics are flowing smoothly. You see that all supported by this beautiful, sparkly, strong power foundation underneath, holding it all together. That's great. So now let's hold that energy, and with our intention, let's make that energy continue. So even when we've come off the call, it's like we've created this bubble of empowerment energy. And it's going to keep us in our power as individuals. And it's going to keep that power flowing back to our healthcare services as well. So you can just feel it anchoring in the cells of your body, in your subconscious mind, in your energy field. And feel it anchoring in your life. Because we are going through a huge transition, but we can deal with it. We can use it as an opportunity to allow old things that weren't working or that were obsolete to just go, and for us to create a much better way of operating in our lives and in society. And understand that we all can create a new life for ourselves. We can adapt in whatever way we need to. And if we hold this power foundation within us, we will be able to do that much more easily. Just feel that integrating, becoming a permanent part of your energy field and your subconscious mind. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. So as ever, you may very well feel a bit spaced out after doing this. So have a bite to eat if you possibly can. Have a hot drink, that's really good as well. And that I will look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to be building on what we've done today, really magnifying the power, magnifying our personal power, magnifying the power of our immune systems, our bodies, and then doing everything that we can to magnify the power and the positivity in the group consciousness and in the world, so that we can not only get through this challenge, we can absolutely create something the other side which is going to be good for everyone. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you lots of love and take care of yourself. Thank you for your lovely messages. It's lovely to receive them. Thank you.